Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is good to be with all of you this evening and to welcome in Shabbat. This is Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song, and it is also close to the yahrzeit of Debbie Friedman, the 10th yahrzeit, in fact. And so this evening we're going to sing a lot. We're going to sing a lot, and we're going to sing a lot of Debbie's songs. This is a song of hers that we've done a number of times here, but that I learned at camp in preparation for her coming to perform and sing with us. The song leaders taught a small group of us this particular melody with harmonies. Oh, I sing to you, be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say I'd now like to invite Lou and Amy Weiss to lead us in the blessing over the candles and then for Kiddush as well. They are celebrating the birth of their first grandchild, Kobe, to Katie and to Doug. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. We bless our loved ones near and far with the words of the priestly benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, Yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu b'shabbat kodesh b'yahvat ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maseh breshit. Ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu b'charta v'yatanu kitashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kadshecha v'yavrahu bratzon invaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach and Mazel Tov again. Yedi nefesh avarachaman, yedi nefesh avarachaman, meshochadecha, eretz zonecha, meshochadecha, alalai eretz sola, toch emune am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi chala, yalla, 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 Shabbat, lecha bela, lecha dodi chala, yalla, 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 Shabbat, lecha
This is a new melody to us. Tov lahodot ladonai, Psalm 92, special for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing praises to your name, O Most High. Try it with the words. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Second part. Ya-da-da, da-da-da-da, ya-da-dam. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. Try it, ya-da-da, ya-da-da-da, ya-da-da. With the words Lahagir baboker chastecha ve'emunacha balelot. Lahagir baboker chastecha ve'emunacha balelot. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagir baboker chastecha ve'emunacha balelot. Lehagir baboker chastecha ve'emunacha balelot. From the top. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lahodot ladonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Please rise if you're comfortable doing so for the words of the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash meraba v'lamad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chay d'chol bet Yisrael bagala bagala u'bizman kariv yimeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam le'almei almaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitparar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama ve'imeru amen. Yalalai, 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We continue with the first bracha before the Shema. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם, ברקיע כרצונו. יאללה לילה, 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 one more time. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la. And together, let us bless the source of life, source of darkness and light, heart of harmony and chaos, creativity and creation. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Otanu lemanta, otanu your God, unto your God. Anticipating, believing, affirming, thinking abundantly even when our self-confidence is not strong, hope takes practice. When the human spirit aspires, we stretch. When we reach beyond what enslaves us, we live with light and goodness. When hope becomes the answer to fear, so much is possible. Imagine the possibilities when we envision ourselves as strong, healthy, loving. Miracles abound. כיבד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asor et ha-Shabbat l'dor mitzvotam. Beini uberit olam, beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz, ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash. Please rise as we begin the Amidah together. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please have a seat. And let's continue together. God of old, thank you for the week that has passed. Thank you for this Shabbat. Bless those around me with your love and your light. Let your light shine on me as well. Help me to live a life of kindness and service, guided by Torah and mitzvot. Let me see others through your eyes with compassion and understanding. Let me see myself through your eyes with forgiveness and grace. May your goodness rain down upon us from this Shabbat until the next, and all the days of our lives. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offering be acceptable to you. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, v'yira na'avod. Praise to you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulachana el hodot. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki atah hu melech hador, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom.
A meditation now. Well, yesterday was Tu B'Shvat, and one of the memories from the last time I lived in Israel for a year was Tu B'Shvat. It was sort of a gray day like today in Jerusalem, and I had just come out of a class where I had been studying a medieval mystical work called Sherei Ora, the Gates of Light. And there I just saw a tree that was starting to bloom. And there was hope on that Tu B'Shvat that the spring would come. And this poem by Kathy Ostroff speaks about the seed and about how we relate in some ways to the trees of Tu B'Shvat. Every tree was once a seed that waited. A seed knows how to wait. A cherry tree will wait for 100 years. A lotus seed may wait 1,000 years for a chance to become a tree. Most seeds hope for an opportunity that will never come, to shed their hard coats and take root. What does it take to pare away the husks from our own hardness, to put away resentment, selfishness, or arrogance? In spite of doubt and stubbornness, someone believed in us, nourished us. So whatever keeps us tethered to obstacles, let go, focus, begin again ready to pray. Life holds the possibility of inner transcendence, moments of love and awe, so powerful that they call upon us to redirect the course of our lives, to ascend the holy ladder and know the divine. We continue with our own prayers.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. prayer for all those we hold in our hearts who are in need of healing this evening. Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make ourselves a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu, mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So we are in our section of the Torah that deals with Pesach. We've read about the Jewish people being cast into slavery, the plagues, and this week being freed from slavery in Egypt. And Pesach is a time both of seriousness but also celebration. And I marvel at the creativity. So like I do every year, I go to YouTube and I check out the latest music videos for Pesach. Here are some of my favorites. There's the Maccabees version of Les Mis Passover. And there's a takeoff on Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen called Passover Rhapsody. There's a Lion King Passover. And 613, the a cappella group, has a version of Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. I had to look up the song. But Pesach also is challenging for us. And there are challenges and then the responses of our tradition. One of the challenges is the suffering of the Egyptians because of the 10 plagues. And we respond to this tradition, this challenge, by dipping wine out of our cups. And as I've shared in some settings, one of the most powerful ways I did this was a Seder where instead of dipping the wine and putting it in onto our plates, we put it on our cheek and you could feel it running down and the stickiness, a visceral reminder of the intensity of the plagues. There's also the tragedy of the Egyptians dying in the Red Sea. And the Song of the Sea, the first section of it, talks about the drowning of the Egyptians, horse and chariot, God cast into the sea. And the Midrash has God chastising the angels. And God says to the angels rejoiced in song. And God says to them, how can you sing when my children are dying? And the other great challenge of the Pesach narrative is the hardening of the heart of Pharaoh. If you look at the plagues very closely, you'll see that they're done in an intricate pattern, that there are 3 sets of 3 plagues. In the first set, it takes place in the morning and at the Nile. In each set, there's a warning to Pharaoh before the first and second in the set. And then the third plague comes without a warning. In the first 6 of the plagues, it says, Pharaoh hardened his heart. But then in the last 4, it says, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And our tradition is deeply troubled by the idea that God would harden Pharaoh's heart. And our different commentators have responded in different ways. A Hasidic commentary, Itere Torah, says, Rabbi Alik answered, hardening Pharaoh's heart was a necessity for him to regain free will. The signs and wonders would have overwhelmed him. So Pharaoh's heart needed strengthening. Nechama Leibowitz, the great commentator from Israel, said the purpose of our Torah portion is to describe the relentless breaking of Pharaoh's arrogant heart and to teach him about the eternal God. The story of the plagues is a contest between the will of Pharaoh and the will of God. In the Talmud, though, it gives a different type of interpretation. It speaks about human nature. Reish Lakish said, God gave Pharaoh several opportunities to change his mind and allow the Israelites to leave Egypt. Since God warned him 5 times and Pharaoh refused to pay attention and continued to stiffen his heart, God told him, I will now add troubles to what you have made for yourself. And Erich Fromm extends this idea from a psychological point of view. The Torah's description presents one of the most fundamental ideas of human behavior. Every evil act tends to harden the hearts of human beings and to deaden them. Every good act tends to make them soft and more alive. So this evening, I want to share with you a story of a heart that was hardened and then became open. And in our world, in the United States, in the entire world, with the rise of such radicalism and the acts of violence that we've seen, especially in the United States in the last weeks, this is a story which is a hopeful story. It's not a panacea, it's not an overnight, but it's very profound about what is possible. So as I travel the country, I learned many incredible stories. And one of the most powerful was when I was in Omaha, Nebraska. It came from Bob Wolfson, who was now living in Omaha, and he had been the Associate National Director of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. He told about Cantor Michael Weiser and his wife, Julie, who moved to Lincoln, Nebraska in 1991. On a Sunday morning, as they were unpacking and talking with a friend, the phone rang. Cantor Weiser answered, heard a harsh and hateful voice say slowly, say loudly, "You will be sorry you ever moved to that house, Jew boy." And then the line went dead. 2 days later, the Weisers received a thick brown packet in the mail with a card on top that read, "The KKK is watching you, scum." The packet contained a stack of flyers and brochures, including ugly caricatures of Jews, blacks, and race traitors who were being shot and hung, and there were threatening messages. The Weisers called the police, who said that the hate mail probably came from a man by the name of Larry Trapp, who was the state leader known as the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. He was an avowed Nazi. Trapp was suspected of leading skinheads and Klansmen who had been terrorizing Black, Vietnamese, and Jewish families in Nebraska and in Iowa. Cantor Weiser got Larry Trapp's phone number. He learned that Trapp was 42, disabled, and in a wheelchair. He started leaving messages on Trapp's answering machine. He would say things like, "Larry, There's a lot of love out there. You're not getting any of it. Don't you want some? And he hung up. He'd do this once a week. One day, Larry Trapp answered when the cantor called. The cantor said, I heard you're disabled. I thought you might need a ride to the grocery. One night, the cantor's phone rang, and it was Larry Trapp. He said, I want to get out of what I'm doing. I don't know how. Cantor Weiser and his wife drove to Mr. Trapp's apartment that night. The three talked for hours. Eventually, a close friendship was formed. When Larry Trapp became ill, the couple's home became a kind of hospice. He moved into one of their bedrooms as his health worsened. The Weisers were his caretakers and his confidants. Larry Trapp renounced the Klan, apologized to many of those whom he had threatened. On June 5th, 1992, he converted to Judaism at the very synagogue he had planned to blow up. 3 months later, on September 6, 1992, Larry Trapp died at the Weiser's home. The cantor and his wife, Julie, were beside him and holding his hand. At Larry's funeral, Cantor Weiser said, those of us who remain behind ask the question, Eternal God, what are we as human beings? Like a breath, like a shadow that passes away, yet somehow we know that there is more to our lives than what first meets the eye. I don't want to offer a simplistic solution. Phone calls aren't going to change everyone's mind, but it does point to what's possible. And one of the most powerful messages of Judaism is not just learning about the hardening of Pharaoh's heart and how evil leads to evil and good leads to good, but the emphasis that our tradition places on openness and kindness of the heart. When the tabernacle is going to be built in a couple of weeks, the Torah will say, take gifts to the eternal, everyone whose heart so moves. As the people prepare to enter the promised land in the book of Deuteronomy, God will say, if there is a needy person among you, one of your kin in any settlements that the eternal your God is giving you, don't harden your heart and shut your hand to your needy kinsman. Rather, you must open your hand and lend what the kinsman needs. And the final thought from the book of Psalms. The days of our years are 80 years and 10, or even by reason of strength, 80 years. So teach us to number our days, that we may get us a heart of wisdom. May we have that heart of wisdom as we approach the many challenges of the world. May we have the open heart, and may we have the hearing heart. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for those words. We have a number of announcements. First, our musical program is made possible with generous support from Edgar Snyder and an anonymous donor. Tomorrow we have our Torah study at 8:30, services at 9:15, and Havdalah at 6:30. February is Jewish Disability Awareness, Acceptance, and Inclusion Month. And we are celebrating that with a number of different activities, including moth-style storytelling from folks within our community who live with disabilities of various sorts. There's a brotherhood brunch and more going on, but we're kicking it off with a service next Friday at 7 p.m., our normal time, with participation from our Disabilities Inclusion Task Force. Also next week, we will be starting new Mishaberach and Kaddish procedures. So if your loved one has their name on our normal Kaddish list, you don't have to do anything. But for anyone else who would like to add a name for Mishaberach, or if a name is not on the weekly Kaddish list that you would like put on, there is a link in the weekly email that will take you to a form to fill out so that we can collect those names and offer them during the service. As a reminder, names must be submitted each week by 2 p.m. on Friday. And you're always welcome to put names into the chat, but this will make it easier to share names from folks both on Zoom and those who are streaming on YouTube. We have our normal classes for the week, Hartman Learning, where if you're interested, contact Rabbi Crystal, Bereshit. If you're interested, contact Cantor Berman. Parsha study on Wednesdays and the evening meditation on Wednesdays. This coming Sunday is the first of a series of 5 tours of Spain, Jewish Spain. It's at 3 p.m. and it will be a live Zoom walk and talk uncovering the rich history of Jews in Spain. It's conducted by Donnie Rothstein, founder of Jewish Mallorca. There's more information online. We're also asking, as part of our Tikkun Olam civic engagement campaign, for registered voters who live in Allegheny County to help to sign a petition for a ballot initiative that will go on the May 18th primary ballot. So if you are in Allegheny County, this one is to help control the use of solitary confinement at the jail. And for those who live within the city of Pittsburgh, there is a petition to ban no-knock warrants. You can come to Temple Sinai to safely sign the petitions in the Krieger entrance vestibule, or you can contact Lynn Rubinson, Steve German, or Ronnie Zulke to bring the petition to you. The deadline is February 12th, so we can get all of the names organized before it is due on the 16th. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can contact Lynn Rubinson, Steve German, or Ronnie Zulke. We will continue now with the conclusion of our service, beginning with Aleinu. I'll invite you to rise as you are comfortable in body or in spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We think of our loved ones who have died at this time in years past. On this Shabbat, we are thinking of Dorothy Adelson, Frida Back, Jane Goldberg Berkman, Benjamin Bloom, Paula Fox Brandeis, Saul Chetlin, Francis Clark, Anita Ruth Cohen, Libby Rose Cohen, Edward Curtis, Irvin Dash, Susan Edelstone, Jean Siegel Fain, Edith B. Falk, Erwin D. Fall, Lee Jeffrey Farb, Dr. Willis Friedman, Sanford B. Sandy Gold, Irving S. Goldman, Isidore Goldstein, Dorothy Goldstein, Louis E. Goldzer, Betty Gordon, Nathan Gross, Sorrel D. Harris, Morris Herr, Samuel Horn, Harold O. Kamens, Ruth Kanselbaum, Meyer Kaplan, Earth Lample, Bennett Martin, Pauline Martin, Sandy Mason, Sandy Roth, Judith Rosenberg, Rhea Rosenthal, Mary Shane, Saul Schiller, Charles R. Varon, Helene Walker, Celia Warschauer, David Wolfson, Dorothy Wolowitz, and Morris Zaremski. We also think of those who have died in recent days and weeks: Ram Kasavsky, Edward Krauss, Abe Samble, Debbie Fumera, Estelle Stockman, Carol Greenberg, Marion Spirer, Joanne Beck, Andy Klein, Audrey Jean Diane Baldwin, and Lee Chetlin. As we think of them, we say Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for us a blessing now and forever. As we join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yerutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'galau V'zman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam L'almei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar V'yit'aleh V'yithalal Shmei Dekudashav B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, amen. Maybe seated.
We close this evening with a song written by Debbie Friedman, The Angel's Blessing, and what Rabbi Crystal had to say about one person's kindness and the difference it can make in the life of another makes this song a perfect ending. May our right hand bring us closer to our godliness. May our left hand give us strength to face each day. And before us may our visions light the path ahead. And behind us may well-being heal our way. All around us is Shekhinah. 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 Mimini Michael, umismoli Gabriel, mimi lefanai Uriel, umeachorai Raphael, v'aroshi Shekhinah, v'aroshi Shekhinah around our heads, v'aroshi Shekhinah, v'aroshi Shekhinah. Shekhinah is that feminine characteristic of God. Let's sing for each other. V'aroshi Shekhinah, v'aroshi Shekhinah.
May the angels of our lives be with us as we go through our lives. Together we say amen.